Alright, lads. Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez. Alright. Now, this fight penciled in this year, technically, it's still 2020. That fight was penciled in for May 2020. Obviously got pushed back. We're talking about September 2020. That's still good. But then Billy Joe I think it was he couldn't get in shape, or the money wasn't right, whatever it was. Fight never happened. Billy Joe ended up fighting Martin Murray. Canelo ended up fighting Callum Smith. Alright, it was what it was. There's talk of this fight happening next year, in May. Now, Eddie Hearn has said that he's been in touch with Eddie Reynoso. They're looking at getting Billy Joe versus Canelo in May. Now, but Canelo wants to have a quick turnaround. Right? He wants to have that mandatory defense against Avni Yildirim. I don't want to see that personally, but I know he's got to make it. Basically, easy fight for Canelo. Shouldn't take him more than a couple of rounds to get rid of Yildirim. Yildirim, tailor-made for Canelo. A big target. Not got a good defense. Doesn't appear to have the best punch resistance either. Squared shoulders. He is going to get lit up by Canelo. Absolutely lit up. They're talking of doing that in the zone. They're actually talking about a 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn in the zone with Canelo. So obviously what they're looking to do is, and they're looking to do that fight in Mexico, I think someone was saying. They're looking obviously to do Canelo versus Yildirim. Mandatory defense. Get that out of the way. It's a straightforward fight for Canelo. I can't see any harm coming from Yildirim, to be honest with you. Then, May of next year, Billy Joe Saunders, right? Now, we may see Canelo fight 3 times next year, because he normally tends to fight he hasn't done it for a few years now, but he normally tends to fight in May, and then fight in September, so the Mexican Independence weekend, and of course Cinco de Mayo weekend. Billy Joe versus Canelo. I would rather see that than a trilogy with Triple G. Now, I know some people would say, no, G, we want to see the trilogy. I get that. I get Triple G didn't look too bad in his last fight. I've seen it. I've seen that twice now. I've seen a close fight in the first fight. I wasn't complaining about the draw personally. I thought Canelo just nicked the second fight. It was close, but I thought Canelo just nicked it. I've seen it twice, and I still, although Triple G looked good, fight. I can't remember the Polish guy's name. His name is extremely difficult for me to pronounce. Apparently the S is silent. But yeah, like that guy didn't pose much of a threat. He was really a European level fighter. He only had like 4 KOs on his record as well. He was never really going to pose Triple G much of a threat. Triple G did look good in that fight, but he is still getting up there in age. He'll be 39 next year. I just think at world level, I just don't see Triple G beating Canelo again. I think it'd be either points or late stoppage for Canelo at this stage. Whereas Billy Joe, whilst I do think, especially at 168, Canelo would beat Billy Joe, it could be interesting because Billy Joe, from a styles point of view, you could see him causing Canelo issues because he's not going to be like a Callum Smith who's just... Billy Joe would have the height and reach on Canelo, but he wouldn't have it as drastic as Smith did. But Smith didn't use it. He just stayed there and played, a human heavy bag and, tried his best to survive. Well done, clap, clap. But, if you have those advantages, use them. Billy Joe will be moving. He'll be popping the southpaw jab. His southpaw jab is good. The only thing about Billy Joe is that at 168, and if you go watch the Martin Murray fight and compare his foot speed, because it's noticeable, like your eyes can see it, it's noticeable that his foot speed is not as good at 168 as it is at 160. That extra weight is slowing Billy Joe Saunders down. It's noticeable. You see it when he moves around the ring. When he moves around the ring at 160, there's a bit of a spring in his step. It's very fluid. He just has a nice little rhythm to his movement, and it's nice and quick. 168, it's noticeably, the eyes can see it, it's noticeably slower. And I think that a slow-footed fighter, Billy Joe was not slow-footed necessarily, but compared to what he would be at 160, that would play into Canelo's strengths. I think Canelo's head move, and I think he'd break Billy Joe down slowly but surely. I don't think he'd stop Billy Joe. I don't think he would. I think it would be a point win for Canelo. But it's intriguing. I haven't seen it yet, and I know Billy Joe could pose some issues in there. So, there's that. But with Triple G, I've seen it twice. If I have to see it again, okay, I'm not going to necessarily complain about it. But like I said, I've seen it twice already. I think I know the outcome of the third fight. One guy's in his prime now, and one guy is well, I think he's definitely seen better days. It's fair. He's further away from his prime than he was in the second fight. I'll put it like that. So those are my thoughts on this. The Billy Joe versus Canelo. Obviously, it's early days. We don't know what will happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they announced this fight in January or February. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they announced Canelo versus Yildirim in the next few weeks, because they're not going to try and promote that really. Maybe if it was in Mexico, they try and do it as a homecoming, but they're not going to try and sell that fight massively because he really Yildirim, no disrespect, but really. And maybe they'll wait until Canelo gives him a beat, and then they'll do Billy Joe versus Canelo in the ring after. They'll announce it straight after. They might do something like that, because if you're talking February, March, plenty of time to get the stuff done, and hopefully, well, we should have fans. Definitely in parts of the US by then, definitely. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking. If Eddie Hearn is what he's saying is true, it might be all right, lads. Might be a good deal. Might be good. Like I said, I would honestly, the ideal opponent would be Charlo. I'd love to see Charlo versus Canelo, but I just can't see that happen. I think PBC are just a bit. I think those fights are just a bit too hard to make at the minute. But out of Triple G, Billy Joe, I'd like to see Billy Joe just because it's just. Some people would say, no, he's going to lose. Look, I wouldn't pick him, but I can see some issues there from a style point of view, and just to see how Canelo copes, just be a bit more intriguing to me. But anyway, that's the debate in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section what you think, what your thoughts are, who you want it to be, what you think will happen. Yeah, leave it down in the comment section below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, lads. Smash the like button. Believe you me, lads, it helps the channel out so much. Helps the channel grow. You want to help your boy grow, smash the like button. Hashtag GMansRocks as well. That'll help out as well. Big up, lads. Lads, I'll talk to you. Peace.